Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Love Storyteller Tarot. My name is Jeanette and this is the full moon total lunar eclipse in the star signs Aries, Aquarius. This is quite rare, they're saying, because apparently it lasts for 1 hour 23 minutes, and this is the one that's called the blood moon. So you can look it up and see what what it's all about. But yeah, apparently this is a rare one, and it's called the blood moon. I just want to say thank you for all the lovely comments and likes, and I'm just getting back into it again. It's going to take time to build, but I do appreciate it, and I love the feedback. It's lovely to connect and that, so thank you. Right, let's take a look at this then. I did write a few down because we do have, this is going to be on the 27th, roughly the 27th of July. In some places it can be a different date, but yeah, roughly it is. What is it saying? Again, it's a 6-month cycle like the solar one. And I'm wondering, I was tuning in when I was doing the cards, and I was wondering, is that solar one going to be more to do with the masculine energy? And then is this lunar one going to be more representative of the feminine energy? So let me know how it plays out. This is 6 months, so you can go back to it and see how it played out, and maybe put some comments, and then help each other and support each other. But this one, hence why I've got this card out, is going to be mainly influenced by the planet Mars, and we do have that Mars retrograde going on up until the 26th of August. I have done a reading for those of you that haven't seen it. Check that out, because it will be like another aspect to the solar eclipse and this one, so it'll be another aspect, and it's got more information in there. But yeah, this is going to be mainly influenced by Mars. What is it saying about this cycle? This is on one of the astrology thingies. They're saying it's going to be an incredible impact on your private life. So this is really going to, about focusing on intentions on your emotions, and intimate relationships, home and family, really. But we do have the Mercury retrograde that will be in Leo, and it comes in Leo and it goes out in Leo. It stations and then goes out in Leo. That's the 26th, so sort of the day before, and that's saying basically expect the unexpected. So it'd be interesting to see what cards come out as to whether the Tower does come out in the reading. But we'll take a look. We'll see. I feel quite excited to see what's going to be going on. Right, so when I was shuffling the cards, these are the clarifying cards that I use, and these jumped out. This one came out and I sort of ignored it and put it back in. Then I thought, hang on a minute, no, because we do, because it's in Aquarius, this lunar eclipse, and we had something else in Aquarius as well. Yeah, it was the Mars retrograde, which was Aquarius and Capricorn, I think. So very dominant energies. So this jumped out. The star in reverse jumped out. I put it back and I thought, no, I'm gonna keep it, because then these two fell out, and I thought, okay, we'll take that and we'll read that, because it might be a message for one or two people. But at the end of the day, it's a general reading, and you use your own intuition. And when something's said, think about what's just been said, and then your thoughts or your feelings, and then put it to that, really. But yeah, in reverse, that can be like you can be being idealistic, and high expectations, either of someone else or yourself, and then it's hard to live up to that. Then, you know, it's a bit like putting somebody on a pedestal, and we do have the Knight of Cups, so yeah, putting somebody on a pedestal and projecting onto them and thinking that, you know, they have qualities that maybe they don't, and tapping into their potential, and you know, it's hard for them to live up to it, and then it will be disappointing for you, because we've got the Ten of Swords, whichever way around it works. You know, it can be the Knight has high expectations, you know, he's got the cup, he's on his way, he wants to offer his love, but he could also have high expectations and idealism around a relationship, especially if you're not grounded, and then he will feel disappointed or betrayed in some way. So, you know, I've had that myself, but you have to be careful what you're projecting, you know, as to why that happens. But, you know, put on a pedestal, and then, you know, it doesn't take long till they wipe the stool from underneath you, and boom, and boom, you go down on your ass, and, you know, it hurts. But yeah, so I'm sensing that about these three cards, really, is that either somebody's lost hope, because this is very much about the hope card, and seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, so it could be that somebody's losing hope about ever meeting this knight in shining armour, you know, because that's very much about that. But that is the romantic side of, you know, the fairy tales, etc. And then, you know, that's going to cause, being in that energy and being stuck is then going to cause the Ten of Swords, which is, you know, is feeling stabbed in the back, betrayed. It's such a dark card, but it is a 10, which means, you know, you're coming to the end of that, and you know, and this way around, it is the feeling of, but at the end of the day, sometimes we betray ourselves. You know, we've had the red flags, we've seen the red flags, and we've actually squatted them away like a fly because we don't want to see it. We want something our own way, you know, and so that then can also end up feeling like that, and on the floor, so to speak. So yeah, but I'm sensing it's be careful of your ideals, your high expectations around love, around romance, around the other person, whether it's the male or female, it doesn't matter which, and living up to high standards is what I'm getting. That's going to cause pain. That's going to cause pain for both parties. Maybe that's quite an important message for this reading in particular, but they jumped out, so we'll leave it with that. But yeah, we've got it with this lunar eclipse. So lunar is, like I said, the feminine, but it's total eclipse. The solar was the partial eclipse. So like I said, there's maybe you have to be partial, or you'll only see partially something. You won't be given like the whole story or the whole picture of something. And this lunar is the total, so it's like it wipes out the last 6 months, and you know, the moon is all about the emotions and your emotional life, and coming to completion on something, and so it sort of wipes it all out and gives you a clean slate, a fresh start of what's been going on for the last 6 months, so that you know, and again, it's astrological, it's what's going on with the planets, it's alignment, so it works in with the Mars retrograde, and everything is in divine timing, everything is in universal timing with your relationships, and it's all to do with your soul contract, and people coming in and seeing whether you've learned a lesson, you know, so what was coming through then? Yeah, it's governed by Mars, which, you know, connects to the Tower card, which there's there's going to be a shocking revelation, or there's going to be, you know, Mars is having its say in that, and it will be retrograding, so there'll be like impatience. So, and then we've got the Mercury retrograde coming in, which is all about communication. So you're really gonna, so we can navigate this energy over the next 6 months. You're really going to have to watch, especially when Mercury is going retrograde, your language, you know, as in how you're saying something, how you're coming across, or, you know, be wary of text messages, because people get the wrong idea with text messages. Because, you know, there's no feel to it, especially if people are wounded. So it will all be about being very, very clear. Otherwise, there's going to be arguments, tension, arguments, conflict, and whether that's within yourself, or depending on what house it's in, you see. So as to how it will affect you, but we're doing general, really. But yeah, so because this is all about something exploding, or something something shocking happening, you know. And then we've got that Mercury retrograde coming in, I think on the 26th, the day before, which is all about, you know, gentle strength, being compassionate. So even though sometimes you might, you know, maybe this happens because you've kept a lid on something, you've kept a lid on your feelings, and then they can, you know, come to boiling point and explode, instead of compassionately and gently expressing yourself, because this is very much about your emotional and mental life, and having that inner strength that you don't need to roar. You don't need to roar what you want to say. You can say it in a more compassionate, loving way. So that will be around that Mercury retrograde. So let's have a look. I wanted to have a look to see with these cards. It's the Colette Baron Reads card, Wisdom of the Oracle. Because she says very much about the first one being the anchor card, and well, just as I did that, TikTok came out, so I'm going to take that one, and then, but I do want to ask it another question in a minute. Yeah, TikTok. So it's about timing, and I was just saying something about timing, about your relationships. You know, they will. Whoever needs to come in, fate brings them in, and then at the end of the day, because you've agreed to that, at the end of the day, it's whether you allow them to stay in your life, or, you know, you say something that makes them leave. But yeah, very much around divine timing, and but there is plenty of time. There is time to meet somebody. That, you know, it is on the universe time scale, but because we're doing relationships, I'm going to have a look, see what it says about relationships, and then let's see how it fits in with the reading. The Oracle's message, well, it's timelessness, divine timing, like I just said, immeasurable time. But we're going to have a look at the relationship message. Love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season. And that's what I was going to say. It was a poem or something one of my friends sent to me. When I was going through a difficult time in relationships and trying to understand, well, what the hell happened there, you know? And she said, well, it was either for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And I seem to be keep guessing the reasons. They don't seem to last a season, and certainly not a lifetime. But hey ho. So the one that, you know, I talked about, I think in the solar eclipse, I can't remember. That definitely was a reason, even though it's been going on for probably a season, in a sense that the environment and the circumstances, which I don't have any power over. So yeah, so I do believe that some things are preordained. It's like you it's like those old-fashioned dance cards, you know, when they used to put the names on who you're going to dance with next, and then you tick it and then you move on to the next one. So that's what your like love interests are, and as a soul contract, as a soulmate, and they come in, and you know, it's tick, you've learnt that lesson, and then the next one comes in. Or it might be you grow and evolve so much you don't need to continue in, you know, in that way. So I do think those are preordained. They're there, ready and waiting, depending on whether you learn the lesson or not. Everything has its seasons, its divine and appropriate time, and especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time, and I do believe that that it is always right on time. So that's going to be, so no matter what you do, you know, even if you sense something, someone coming along, and or you sense something about someone, you won't be able to coerce it and manipulate it, is what this card is saying. It will happen organically, it will happen naturally, because if you try and fit it into your timing, because you're intuitive and, you know, your high priestess is at work and you're thinking, oh yeah, something's going on here, and then you try and rush it, then that's when it all starts going wrong. It will be in the perfect time. But it's there for those of you who are single. It is there. It is ready and waiting. But let's see why. Let's see what we might not be seeing over these next 6 months. So what possibly might be hidden from, you know, like a blind spot. Most important message around what might be hidden, what might be a blind spot that we might not see, and then we can use that as a heads up. Okay, well, it's saying flexible. I want to get that card back out. It's saying, so you've got to be flexible. So what you might not be seeing is that you're not being flexible. Hang on a minute, I can't do two things at once, obviously, because my mind's, there we go, TikTok. What it's saying is that you've got to be flexible over the next 6 months, and it might be that you're not, you know, that you're not aware of that, and you've got to bring that in, because it was about maybe a blind spot or something that's hidden. And let's just read that though. I normally do it at the end, but I just for some reason wanted to see what was going on. In every relationship, it's important to be open to new experiences, and I think there was something about the page and about having experiences and not to be naive or something around that, which fits into that. Important to open to new experiences and learning new things. Letting go rigidity is what's required right now. You don't always have to be right all the time, do you? Question mark. So maybe, you know, instead of being rigid and it black and white and yes, I'm right, for those of you maybe in partnerships, it's okay to come to a happy compromise. You can still get your needs met. It's a beautiful day when you meet halfway. but you might not be seeing that, so you'll need to come back to that. The appearance of this card in a reading could also signal that you have met someone new who may not be your type, but who will turn out to be so special. So that's a sign then, special, that you can easily release your old ideas. And what were we saying at the beginning? There we go. So you might meet somebody. You might have met someone new who may not be your type. And we did have the new love and the romantic partner underneath the Mars retrograde, I think. But who will turn out to be so special that you can easily release your old ideas. And that's what that card is in reverse, really, about having high ideals and high expectations, and you'll let go of that, so you'll need to be flexible with that. So that's really a good message to hold on to. What about what sort of partner is right for you? Be flexible, you'll be happy you made that choice. So I do feel that those cards are really, really important in this reading about divine timing and being flexible. You might not see that, okay? You might not see it because your ideals might get in the way, and then you might miss a great opportunity, and you might miss this love, you see, because of old patterns, etc. But let's see what the dynamics might be playing out around this time for this 6-month period, going out of 2018 into January 2019, when the new eclipses. No, they're powerful. They're powerful. Don't underestimate them. So the dynamics that might be playing out. We've got the victim card. We had the unconscious and the fear. Was it fear? I think it was. But this one is number 3, is guilt. Is guilt, and it comes under the victim card. So like putting pressure on a relationship, or feeling guilty that, you know, you've done something in a relationship. This Mars retrograde, you know, can be, because it's about sex and power, and so sexual relationships, and can be coming as affairs. I think the one was the heart of the matter was the 3 of Swords, you know, and then something will come tumbling down. So guilt, but feeling guilty about something you've done, or somebody else has done, and then being the victim, playing the victim, and I don't know, maybe overcompensating, because, you know, you can do that, you can overcompensate when you feel guilty about something that you've done, or even to the point of ending a relationship. You know, you can feel guilty about that, especially if it's a marriage and children are involved and things like that, and then, you know, you take that guilt. I mean, he's carrying one hell of a burden there, one hell of a package up this hill, and it's very dark. She's waving him off, so, you know, she has no clue about what's going on, but he's carrying a heavy burden. So that's what's going to be playing out during that time, which is number 3, which 30 goes down to number 3 also. But let's see, most important card is this one, and let's see how we can navigate these energies around love. Oh, torn between two, but torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. Right, choice. Hey, you can't make this stuff up. There we go. I said torn between 2 lovers, feeling like a fool. Now, and the choice card came up, and actually the 6 of the lovers card in the tarot deck is number 6, which that card is known for choice, or you know, you need to make a choice. So, but on this one, it's 5, 6, 7. 7 is about the right path, choosing the right path. And this can be like, okay, you made a choice in the past, and that's okay. You know, it's about experiences. And but it's the saying, you know, you've made your bed and lie in it. It's not. You've made your bed, you can change the sheets, you can make another choice, you know. Some people get locked into, well, I've made that choice now and that's that, and maybe hence why, you know, the guilt comes into it, because but they're not happy. You know, I've just been watching, I do on a psychological level, the Love Island shows, and it's during this Mars retrograde, and by no coincidence, you know, you had the girls falling out with each other, you had the girls falling out with the boys weren't falling out with each other, and you know, arguments, conflict, why was I saying that? And but about the guilt, but you know, that they made one choice to be with somebody and then realized, well, you know, I think I could be happier with somebody else. But then they're either made to feel guilty, or they feel guilty for honouring themselves and making that decision. And yeah, it can come across as though they're being selfish, etc. But maybe that's not such a bad thing. And you know, you make one choice, and okay, you opened up to something, you tried something, and it hasn't worked out. There are many other paths where love's concerned, and it's all about making another choice. And you're scared because there's this path here, you see, that's very barren, and but this is the healing. The healing is, okay, you feel guilty about something, you know, especially if you're in a long-term relationship or a marriage and there's children involved, and like you're thinking, this just is not working for me, and no matter what you've tried, and then it becomes a heavy burden because you don't want to hurt anybody, you don't want to upset anybody. But being authentic and true to yourself, and knowing that what you do, what's right for you, is actually right for the other person. And sometimes I think that can be forgotten, you know, because the codependency comes in, and it's like, well, no, how are they going to manage without me? You know, what will they do without me? And then all of that starts coming in. But the healing is, you know, choice, to make another choice, or what choice are you going to make? And the grace card, or the gift card that you get from being brave, because remember, this is about courage. The strength card is about courage, but being compassionate. So for those that need to end a relationship, because this Mars retrograde is about reflecting on something and making a decision. And you know, they can be such big decisions, or is it going to be made for you, or you're going to be on the other end of the stick and somebody's finishing with you. Either way, know that it's the right thing. And this is all about having courage, being brave, because Leo is about, you know, very warm, fire energy, loving people, and like to be in the limelight, so to speak. Well, depending on what you've got in your chart. But yeah, the gift that you get, oh, that was only one. Oh, well, the gift of sexuality, we've had these come up before last year, I think. And this can be, you know, because Mars, remember the Mars, it's all about sexual energy, and so very much about getting in contact with that. And so maybe if you haven't for a while and you feel guilty, there's been no sexual contact, and you know, you're feeling guilty, maybe looking at somebody else, or it's gone further, you know. But this is all about, and this can be like one night stands, but it's about getting in contact with you and your needs, and what it is that you want, what you really want. So that could even imply, you know, that if you made a choice to be with somebody, but then you know, you think, well, no, I want to honour my sexuality, I'm not straight or whatever, and I prefer women, or whatever it is. You know, it can come up in many different shapes and forms for different people. But yeah, this is the gift you get. They're naked, they're comfortable, they're out in nature, they're out in public, and you've got the sea here, and arms stretched out open to each other, so vulnerability there, getting in tuned with vulnerability, and something has to be broken down before this can happen. And it's to do with making another choice, but maybe feeling guilty about it is maybe what the cards are saying for that 6 month cycle. But the healing is the choice. The healing on the solar eclipse, what was the healing on the solar eclipse? Do you know what? I can't remember. What was the healing? Wasn't that one? No. It's forgiveness, wasn't it? Yeah, it was forgiveness. So maybe that's why the guilt's come in this time. Because it was forgiveness. Yeah, I remember now. I remember. Yeah, but this one is choices, and the solar eclipse was forgiveness. It will play out differently. Excuse me for a minute, I need a drink. It is so hot here. What's the time? How we're doing? Yeah. And the builders have gone for their lunch, so we've got a bit of quiet time for a minute. So, what are the most important messages for this total full moon lunar eclipse in the archetype of Aquarius? How is this going to play out? How can we navigate? So remember, some of these cards represent the past, present and future, but the most important thing, you can change the future cards because you focus on the present and work with that. If you don't like it, then make another choice. And I think I got on my website, you know, like a remote control. If you don't like the channel, then press the button and change it. And I'm not saying that in a flippant way, as in it's just as easy as that, because it certainly won't be. But, and obviously it's not about reckless risk taking, it's about calculated risk, and weighing up everything. But there seems to be some sort of freedom that this Mars retrograde is going to bring. Like Aquarius is like what's the word? Revelation, not revelation. Like a rebel, like you shake things up. You know, you do something to shake things up. So. Oh, and who better than to shake things up than the Queen of Wands? She does come under, you know, the fire sign Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. But she's, you know, she's passionate. She's passionate, and she's a visionary. She sees things, very intuitive, very psychic. But this is around career, you know, yeah, career, to do with career. Very independent woman, because you've got the cat there sat on the lap. So it's as though this type of energy, like, she doesn't need anyone, which isn't being aloof in that way. It's just that she really doesn't need anyone in that way and in a needy way. But she likes to be with people, and she's very warm, because she's upright, she's not in reverse, different story in reverse. Very warm and caring, and oh, they're off. Sorry if you can hear them, but there you go. Their timing is their timing. Yeah, so she's very important because she's the first one in the pack that comes out. But there's fire again, look. But this one keeps coming up, but it's not surprising, you know, with the Mars energy. This this reading is going to be affected by the Mars planet. So, and there you go, we've got the Five of Wands come up again, and I think it came up in the other two readings, unless it was some private ones, I'm not too sure. But yes, it was, I think. Now this is all about competition, basically. This card represents competition, and it can be in the workplace, because it's the Queen of Wands. So competition, fieriness. So watch again the arguments, pettiness, quarrels, fighting, but it is very much about the competition, very much the competition card. And it's around family, a family situation, because the Ten of Pentacles is very much about the family, grandparents, their children, their grandchildren, the dog's there. There's a very comfortable home, comfortable living, and it is the Ten of Coins, so it means wealth, it means money, it means security. But there's some form of competition about that, so that could work in many different ways with siblings, inheritance, because it comes under inheritance. It can come under pension, it can show up for about pensions and wealth and property. So very much this card, but it is upright, so there is that, but there seems to be some competition to get there, because remember, that is shown in the future. So there's something very important that needs to be worked, or will be needing to work through around that time. Now we've got the King of Cups. So is this a couple? So this would be Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, the feminine. It doesn't have to be, but it could be the other way around. And then we've got the King of Cups, which could come under your Cancer, Pisces and Scorpio. Again, sun, moon or rising, it doesn't matter, it's just the energies, and it depending on what somebody's got in their charts, really. But what I love about this card is that the waves are crashing to the thing, but he's just sat there and he's focused on the future, because he's sat there and he's looking straight at me, really, and he's got the cup in one hand, which is the in the right hand, which is about giving, and this card did come up. So again, on the right hand, which is about giving, the masculine energy, giving of themselves, giving of their emotions, giving of their heart. Again, watch high expectations around that, because maybe that's when competition. So it could be in a workplace with somebody, and because if you're tapped into somebody's potential and falling in love with somebody's potential, then you're going to get heartbroken, because they might not live up to that. They might not be able to live up to that, and I think a lot of people do that. But he's all about, there's two dolphins here, which dolphins are all about healing energy, and it represents the Empress in the Animal Tarot. So it's all about abundance. This man has an abundance of, and I'm sure he's come up before somewhere, but I love the King of Cups because he can show up under like being a counsellor, because he's that way. But I love him because he's the king. He's mature. He's mature with his emotions, his feelings. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's able to express to this woman. So maybe this is what she needs. Maybe sometimes he needs to get that water and dampen her down a bit, because maybe she's been going for the wrong type of person, and she hasn't found what supported her. And maybe she needs somebody who wears their heart on their sleeve, or it could be, if you're already in a couple, that you are that couple, but she's coming up as most important. And this King of Cups, she's wanting a mature man, not in age but in emotions. someone who's able, you know, they're not emotionally constipated, because in reverse he would be emotionally constipated, unable to express himself, which would cause her frustration. You know, she'd get frustrated and angry. She needs somebody that can express themselves, express their love. Oh my God, we've got this one back up. So something's being mirrored, because go back to the solar eclipse one. Now I said maybe that was about the masculine, this is about the feminine. Either way, what's at the heart of the matter is the Three of Swords again. So guilt, betrayal, three people having to make another choice. What did I say about something about a choice? And I sang a song, torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. That one, that's coming in and coming up, and then we get that, which is the dominant energy. This is all in the environment. So we'll get some cards out on that. How are we doing for time? Do you know what, it just goes so quickly, doesn't it, when you're enjoying yourself? But there's a new idea, or a new concept, or new thinking, or communicating differently, that's going to be coming up after this happens, because that's the future. But this is where your power is. See, there's bickering, there's arguments, something going on, but there's a new idea around. Remember about being idealistic and expectations, and maybe you've got to change that. Not lower them as in, oh, I'm not worthy or deserving of something nice and your values match, not like that. But you know, people have flaws, they make mistakes, they get it wrong, you know, apologise, move on. But around the family unit, or around money, or something to do with money, because there's something causing heartbreak. The Four of Cups, you see, this is like the boredom card. It's the sulky child. So you can see that, and she's fed up. She's a mermaid, and she sort of sat there with a hand and thinking, oh God, you know, how much more have I got to put up with this? You know, I'm offering you something here. It's in my hand. I'm offering you something, because it's in her right hand, so she's offering something. But no, his head's in, like, down there, looking at the Three of Cups and thinking, no, I wanted that. So it's about something. Be careful about what you want, and analyse what it is. Why? What are your motives behind that? We'll have a look, see what's under there, because that will be your motive under there, the subconscious. But yeah, that's like the boredom card. You're being offered something, but you're not seeing it. You're being offered something, you're not seeing it. It was something about hidden. Remember, I asked about hidden, and this card came up. Whatever I said about that, it could be somebody that's right for you, but you need to be flexible about it. Whatever I said, go back to the video, beginning of the video, because that works in with that, and then you might miss somebody, you see. The Nine of Coins is all around independence, and doing business. And the Abundance card, this is just, but she's on her own there, you see. So she's independent, but she hasn't met somebody she can be interdependent with, and or him, doesn't matter which, because maybe on an emotional level, this Queen of Wands isn't seeing something. So for all you visionaries out there that, you know, see the future, see things, or that's causing heartbreak. You know, maybe somebody's wanting to be independent, and the codependency is there, and people holding you back, or a person holding you back, or your partner holding you back, or your love interest holding you back. And that's why you've got the arguments there. It could be that way around. And then we have the Five of Swords in reversed. which is all about, again, a bit like your Five of Wands, doubts, fears, don't want to be made to look a fool, like egg on your face, and it was torn between two lovers, feeling like a fool. And then we do have that Mercury retrograde in there, around some form of independence. So for some, maybe if they was thinking about, you know, leaving the relationship, is it going to be the right thing? Is it going to be the right decision? But there is a new idea, a new way of looking at something, or a new way of communicating, and it's on the line of the King of Cups, which is about maturity, emotional maturity. And we do have the, oh, how interesting, we do have the Strength card. Was that in reverse? Do you know what, I can't remember, I am sorry. Doesn't matter whether it was in reverse or not. If it was in reverse, then that's having lack of courage and confidence to do something. That would be, you know, the hidden, the subconscious. But if it's upright, then it's supporting this card, the Strength card here. I can't remember which way around it was, I'm so sorry. Upright, it would say that you do have that, but in reverse, if it was in reverse, which I think it might have been actually, you don't have the courage, the confidence. And then we have the Star card right underneath there, which is, and it's upright, so it's about hope, having hope. You've got to dig deep and have the strength to do something, whatever it is for you. Let's get some more cards out and clarify. On the Queen of Swords, beg your pardon, Queen of Wands. It's this heat. Sweltering here. Oh, right. Well, the man's come up, so it is to do with this Queen of Wands. It is to do with a guy, but we'll get some more cards out because it's quite blank. It's just a man. It's a man, and it could mean anything. So we'll get some more cards out on top of that. But yeah, you know, is that a professional connection? We'll get some more cards and see what's going on for that. But obviously this man is important to the Queen of Wands, to this fire sign. Heart of the matter. Oh, well, this is to do with a home, a breakup of a home, or regret. So that could be the actual physical home, as in property, as in a house, or that could represent you know, your parents' home. And maybe for some, if there's going to be a separation, if that's what's needed, or whatever, maybe you go back to your parents' place, or have to rent somewhere, and that causes upset. It will be a different scenario, and it'll play out many different ways, but it's definitely around property or a home situation. There's something about inheritance, so maybe for some, there might be like betrayal around inheritance, and then you miss out or something. That could be another scenario. But this is a man in the home, because we've got the guilt, making another choice, and I think one of them had the road, which was about a new road opening up, a new pathway opening up, right in and around the environment. Yes, there's something, this is the trick, like being cunning, being sly, because, you know, is causing problems. So for anybody who does like keep secrets and is not transparent, then that's going to cause problems. But yeah, very much about being cunning and sly. That's where the competition is. And it is next to him and her. But this is happiness. This is happiness. The family unit. The family unit brings happiness, and something that's in full bloom. So it's about getting to that, or getting back to that, is what they're saying. But there's some news, and this man can be quite gentle because of this card, because there's some news. We do have the Knight of Cups here again. He's upright, so he's somebody that you could trust, and you might not recognise them, but yeah, he will be mature in his manner and quite gentle. But there's some news, there's movement around this chappie here. There's movement. But you've got to use your wisdom. You've got to use your wisdom. Sometimes, you know, like I said before, silence is golden. So watch your tongue. This Mars retrograde, and then the Mercury retrograde, which goes into it. You've got to use your wisdom. You've got to come from the higher perspective to see something, you know. Yeah, watch your tongue. Communicate differently. Or this, yeah, either somebody's being childish, and we do have that mopey, sulky child there. So either somebody's being childish, acting like a child. Babies can be like toddlers, new beginning, just learning to walk, just learning to do something. But I would say somebody's acting childish, or in the past they acted childish, is what I'm getting there. See, we've got three of the darker cards here. This is about negotiating, having to negotiate. That can be on large scale business or a large scale loan to do with the property, or to do with something like that. Because it's there, it's to do with there, but be careful. Mercury retrograde, so be careful what you're signing. But this is to do with this woman here, and she's yeah, and it's next to both. Who is this woman? A woman in the home? Is this the other party? But yeah, negotiations, somebody wanting, like if there is a separation, somebody wanting a large amount of money that would take away from the family inheritance or something. But yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, there's arguments again. Having the courage to move on. Arguments again. Alright, let's get a few cards out because we're running out of time. Let's get some out on the Queen of Wands, the Significator card. Bearing in mind we already had them three there. Yeah, this is about being blind to something. This Queen of Wands to this man. It's about being blind to something. Maybe I said about hidden, something hidden. And this is about the heart and the head, and not knowing what to follow, and actually not wanting to know, not wanting to see. Yeah, because, oh my God, what am I going to experience? Am I going to experience, because it's the Five of Pentacles, am I going to experience poverty? You know, there's all that fear coming into it. You know, someone going to kick me out in the cold? Am I going to manage? That's what she doesn't want to see about this chappie. And then we get the Seven of Cups, which is about choices again, and about the right choice, and about, you know, being idealistic and thinking someone but maybe they're not. But she is not wanting to see, to do with this chappie here, not wanting to see. So let's see the heart of the matter. Yep, new beginning. There's a new beginning. It's not in reverse because there's something about not wanting to look like a fool. And this is about like going on a new beginning, a spiritual quest, being having faith. Very much about having faith. You know, you've got everything you need in your bag of tools, symbolically. Looking up, you've got to keep looking up to the heavens, following the astrological cycles, moon cycles. Keep looking up, but a new beginning, you know, leap of faith, having a leap of faith to do with this, because this is about not having courage if it was in reverse. Yeah, because this is like co-creating with the divine, and there's a big wide world out there, a new beginning, big wide world out there that would bring balance into your life, that would bring balance into your life. Let's see what the romance angels want to say. Please, romance angels, what are the most important messages for this love reading for this lunar eclipse cycle till January? So this is how you can navigate. So what you need to be doing is keeping an open mind. Your soulmate may differ, like I was saying there, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. That really was the most important message in this reading, I think. And watching Love Island, that definitely is. And being flexible, and what it said there fits in with that nicely, and now also fits in with the romance angels. Yeah, they're saying, yes, this is your soulmate. Your job is to discern who that is, but there's definitely a soulmate coming in. And on the other one, it was underneath it was the romantic, new love and romantic partner, but there's definitely a soulmate coming in. So you've got to keep a very open mind. She is going to be so different to what your type, as they call it on paper in Love Island. You know, it's going to be so different to what you've been used to. And they're saying this could be the one. You know, it's saying you've already met that romantic partner you seek. But those are very strong cards from the romance angels for this reading. And let's just see if they can possibly, like I said, that and divine time and TikTok, you have plenty of time. Do not make the wrong choice out of guilt of hurting somebody. This Queen of Wands and this guy, or the other way around, this guy about the Queen of Wands. How can we navigate? So don't stop doing what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, just keep going on. Keep going on. Don't let any particular person intimidate you, or if there's friends or family, you know, don't let them intimidate you. Just don't stop. Keep doing what you're doing, and you will get there. You know, keep an open mind. You are going to meet, or you have met a soulmate. That this could be the one. But, you know, you're going to have open communication. Be careful because of the Mercury retrograde. It's going to have to be clear, open communication. What are the angels saying from above? Yeah, look for the signs, okay? You are going to be guided from your guides, angels, whatever you like to call them. And let's have a look. from the fairies, which will ground it. Trust those signs, ask for those signs, and you will be guided in the direction to find this. And you know, like I said, you trust your own intuition. That's the most important thing, is that you trust your own intuition above other people, because I just said something about other people. So trust your own intuition. It is guiding you. And let's just finish with the whispers of love. Receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something loving from others is a way of showing love. So maybe this gift, maybe that could be a gift. Somebody's on a quest and to give you something, or you them, and you know, don't reject it. Be open to whatever that gift is, and it can be something as simple as flowers, but it makes them feel good. If you reject the gift, they feel like you're rejecting them personally, is what I'm picking up with that. And then let's just see what the universe card wants to say for this 6-month cycle. Please like, share and subscribe, and continue to comment. I really do appreciate it. It lets us connect with each other. Ooh, and that just literally jumped out. So I'm unapologetic about what I desire and trust that what I focus on will grow. So, you know, watch what you're focusing on. And there we go. I do hope that helps. It will be there. You can check it out for the next 6 months. Go back to it, see what happens. You've got the solar eclipse one there, and obviously the Mars retrograde. And this does include a bit of the Mercury retrograde. I might do that one, I don't know. If not, I'll be back here for August the 11th, I think it is. Might also be another eclipse. I think there's 3 for some reason. Okay, I do hope these messages help you. And I'll be back and see you then. Lots of love. Namaste.